and she was sucking the inside out, and she was going and he was sat next to me. I couldn't really hear it, on a plane it's fairly loud, and he was like grabbing my arm going, help me. Like he was in pain.
How did it work when you bought the watch? Like, did you, like, in terms of obviously like regaining your virginity back, was it something that was sent back to you, or did you have to like grow it at home yourself, or
what, the watch?
Your virginity that you get, you automatically get back when you buy the watch.
Well, I thought I'd have to do that, but when I was sort of since I've been complimented it, like every time I go out for a walk or a run, I think it's growing back.
But there's an app that's on the watch, right? Because it tells you all the people that are complimenting you are also virgins. That's why, right?
Do you have the watch?
Shit.
I was gonna say, how did you know?
Hey man.
Hey bro.
How you doing?
How's it? You know what? Pretty damn good, baby.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. Not bad. Has lockdown Trez been treating you well?
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, man, like I'm killing. I'm killing, baby.
Okay.
But let me tell you what. You know what is killing? The virus. The virus is actually killing.
Yes.
An alarming rate in the UK. Alarming rate. And I think we've now overtaken the total death. I think we now have the most amount of deaths in the country.
I don't think so. We don't. Because I remember looking up the other day. We still don't have the total deaths, but we have the highest per day, basically at the moment.
Deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's because I think what they'd worked out is that it was because we have per square mile we have the most morons per square mile in this country. And
like America has like a fuck ton of morons, but they're a little bit more spread out, basically.
Sparse, sparsely, exactly. Much more sparsely populated. But over here, we're crammed in. There are lots of morons crammed in together.
But yeah, no, America's still leading, I think, in terms of total deaths. But we're like highest deaths per capita, because they have more people, obviously. So
yeah, well, and also it's just crazy because we're a tiny country. I know we've got like a huge population for the size of this place, but like no wonder America does, because it's huge with so many people. But
oh, dude, that just reminded me actually of just something that is a bother. On that note, so I read an article, and it was like a YouTube video, because now on YouTube you have like a whole bar of just like COVID-19 news. And one of the videos was talking about what was going on with Parliament, and they were saying that UK government considering closing borders for COVID-19. Oh, hey man,
nice.
Should have done that a year ago.
should have done that in week 2.
And now we're considering it. Too late. I know we talked about. I think we talked about this exact thing before, but like, dude, the blood red mad when I read that, honestly, because just the fact as well, it wasn't like if they were like, oh, we've closed borders, I was like, okay, they've learned their lesson this time around. But it was government considering closing, which is never going to happen. Government considering closing borders. Hey, should have done that a year ago when this whole fucking pandemic started. And it brought me on to that point of we talking about about the geography and population of England. It's like we're a fucking island as well. Like we have the most perfect setup for like protecting ourselves against 100%. The pandemic. We're an island. There's nobody going to be crossing over borders into us. We just close the airports and we're chilling. And then the government want to pretend like they give a crap about saving people's lives. I don't know. It's mental.
Bro, it's so true. In hindsight, obviously with hindsight, if everyone knew this would be the case, that, we'd be still in this mess 10 months later in a lockdown, 100% within the first, when we knew it was in China before it reached the UK, I think we would have shut them off then.
Yeah.
Like it would have been like, nope, no one's going anywhere. I'm sorry, but
because other countries did that, you know. Other countries,
and they're doing really well now as a result of it,
or at least they did a really rigorous screen like, you know, the thing where you go to another country and you have to isolate in a hotel for 2 weeks. Some other countries were doing that since last year, and we've only just now, in like recently, like yesterday or today, just started doing that. Hey, no,
what is going on?
Before, I get that obviously there's a lot of important things come via air travel. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of industry and there's a lot of important imports that we have, right? In order to function as a country. Like I get that, but then do the thing where every other country started doing last year, which was quarantine for 2 weeks before you come in, before you're allowed like freely into the country.
It's so true.
Shit.
Like it's so shit. It's a good point. Like there's a lot of money that would be lost if we stopped everything. So I understand it's just not as easy as like shut them off completely. But would you rather be struggling for 10 months with traveling, with basically being compromised, having your job compromised for 10 months, or shut the border for a month and then be good to go as normal?
We talked about that before, because then it could have just been like a couple months of really hard struggle, and then like other countries that are now experiencing it, that are kind of out of it and just now going back to normal life. I think I just feel like that would have been the better thing, but
100%.
But also I although the government are idiots, and I think they are to blame, I also think just our mentality as Western and British people is also to blame, because if they did that, there would have been so much uprising about people crying about their freedom being taken away and whatnot, and I feel like that they were scared of that as well. So
but we are going to be in this problem for a long time. I think we're like about halfway through. I honestly think it's going to be the most of 2021. And here's the thing, like I think a lot of people have a problem with how it doesn't really affect them. They're not going to get ill. They are young, they're fit, most 80% chance of basically being asymptomatic, right? So they don't really care so much. They'll go out, they'll not obey the rules. But like, by doing that, I know we spoke about this so many times, but like by doing that, yes, you don't think there's a real problem. You're not going to face any health problems or whatever, but like you're just sustaining it. Like, so like, I'm going to rebel. I don't need to listen to it. Yeah, but cool. But you're going to have like a kind of a shitty another year if you keep doing it. And like, although none of us like doing it, and fuck, I'd love to go out and just not care. Like, I know that if we don't actually follow these rules, then we're just going to be in this for another year. And we are. Yeah. We are. So,
because I say to those people as well, it's like, cool, if you don't agree with the way things are done and you want to protest, hey, going out and like not giving a shit and endangering other people's lives isn't protesting. You're not damaging like the government, the PM's careers in any way in that sense. You're just damaging other real people's lives that you live next door to.
Yeah.
If you actually don't agree and you want to protest and you want to be a rebel, like learn how to protest properly and create some petitions and, do you know what I mean? Like start challenging things politically. You go into a fucking party not wearing a mask is not you being a fucking anarchist. No. You're just being an idiot, basically.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's just,
100%.
But
100%. No, it's so difficult. Like, people feel like they're sort of superheroes. They don't have to worry about it. And I know it is frustrating. It's just like, hey, I'm probably not going to be affected by this thing. But even the whole thing of like, oh, but you might give it to someone who is affected by it. It's just not even that. It's just like, if you don't obey the rules, the hospitals are going to fill up. People might not die, but they'll still go to hospital. People will die, but let's say the majority won't. A large number will, but the majority won't. But still, like, because that, is it the R number? Is that what it's called? Yeah,
sure.
Because that's going up, and the hospitals are just fill up. Like, because people aren't listening, we're going to be in this until people start listening, and it goes back down. That's why we're in a lockdown, because the hospitals are full up. So when people start listening and the numbers drop, it will go back to normal. So like, whether you like it or not, your life is going to be worse if you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
By sustaining the problem.
And I think what you said as well, it's all about perspective. It's the last thing I'll say on it, but it's all about perspective as well. So a lot of people who, as you said, are young and fit don't realize this, but it has such a ripple effect on everything else. And those, in terms of, because the hospitals are obviously dealing with COVID, it means that a lot of other procedures and medical attention that's needed on other things is getting buried and pushed back and things like that. For example, my dad, for example, has had a few medical issues that he hasn't been able to, which before he would have been able to be seen to straight away, they now can't get seen to because of COVID, because they literally like the doctors just laugh and like, oh, you're not getting any fucking appointments anytime soon, like no way. And it's just it's having such a big impact, and it doesn't but the annoying thing is it doesn't need to be that way. Do you know what I mean? Like we could have figured this stuff out between the people and also the government as well. But dude, if we were stricter, if people were more obedient, we'd be fine. Yeah. But we have a culture where we think we're too good and too There was
important.
Actually, though, speaking of, there was an illegal rave that happened over the weekend, which a lot of people went to. It was really good, though, to be fair. The police came and police came and kind of killed the buzz and started handing out fines to people. But we had a good time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm guilty of going.
Oh, did you go as well?
Wait, what do you mean as well? Did you go?
Yeah. Oh no, of course I went. I wasn't gonna miss it. Do you know what I mean? Like it was great.
I know. I was gonna say like
I wasn't gonna miss
once in a lifetime opportunity. Well, once in a year time opportunity. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, there's nothing to do at the moment, so it's just like nothing. Why not?
It was so hot in there. I couldn't move.
Dude, that was
it was just bad.
Yeah, dude, the ventilation was so poor. It was so warm in there. And
I'm
pretty sure.
Were the fucking guy doing... Were you the guy doing the kickstand in the middle of the floor?
Yeah.
I fucking thought it looked like you.
Yeah, so I had to take over from the guy before me because he was like coughing his guts up. Like he was having really bad respiratory issues. So like I fucking took the hose off him and, stand aside, dork. Let me show you a real man's done.
Yes, man.
Which was obviously a wicked moment.
Life of the party. I was thinking, that guy's fucking cool. And also, because I was trying to get to the middle to try and do my own like cake stand, but I was grabbing a drink, and obviously the water supply was cut off because it was like an illegal rave, so they had no water. So the guy was just spitting into the cup and just wiping it like that. And then like gave me it. So like
standard stuff.
They made do with what they could. Do you know what I mean?
And
like it wasn't ideal.
I respect that. I feel like they really pulled it together, and gave everyone a good time for it.
Yeah.
So
man,
that's a good memory. Time. I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
Me too. Managed to get out as well. Like,
did you get a fine?
As fast as I could. No, I belted.
Oh,
I was good.
That's awesome. Man.
Bolted, I should say. You saying bolted, man?
Yeah, I'm about 15 grand deep, as they say.
Worth it.
Yeah, worth it though. I can't.
Worth it though, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, you were the life of the party, man.
Thanks, man. I do try. It was worth it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I have a few court hearings, and like, I'm pretty sure that like, I tested
might
positive,
go to prison,
but also, if I don't have 15 grand, I probably will be going to prison. But yeah, sure. I mean, dude, if you say it's worth it,
dude. You will always be known as that guy with the long hair doing the keg stand, man. That's you for the rest of your life, but that's sick.
That's so cool.
That's sick.
I remember like spraying it out of my mouth all over the crowd, and all the girls were going nuts as well, man. Like,
oh, they were loving it. I remember, they were screaming. Yeah, you're a rock star,
begging for it. But of course, this is What a Bother. Welcome back.
Cheese.
It's
Naichi.
It's Nick.
And Nick.
Coming at you large with the serious topics, but also, we're here to just have a good time. And that's why I went to our legal rave on the weekend, and it was great. East London, big up.
It's fucking awesome, bro.
We did want to get through a lot of questions this week, and we've just talked about COVID for 20 minutes. So, fuck yeah, good to go, baby.
Yes, baby.
Of course, it's the show where we talk about what bothers us as well as what bothers you guys at home. We have had some great feedback. We asked you guys to send in your bothers and grievances for us to comment on / give advice / laugh at / be aroused by / be offended by.
Maybe veering off a little bit, bro.
Okay, just bring it back round. Yeah? We have a couple here. We've got one called Eating Dilemma and one to do with delivery embarrassments. What are you feeling?
Delivery embarrassments. Ooh, eating dilemma. Let's go with the eating first.
Okay. So this is well, maybe we don't say this person's name. So do you want to? It might be a sensitive topic, anonymous topic. So
okay.
Well, we just always give them random names anyway. So what were you feeling for this person when they're eating dilemma? There's not really much information.
Boy or girl? Is it a boy or a girl?
I think it's a girl. Yeah, it's a girl.
Okay. Eating. Who's a famous? I don't know any female chefs, bro. How bad is that?
That's pretty bad. Nigella.
Of course, you know Nigel's.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go with Nigella.
I'm a big fan of the Nige.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nigel.
Shouldn't call it that. So Nigella Lawson says, "Hi guys. Since lockdown, I've been living with my boyfriend at his parents' house. We've all been there, I'm sure. It has been fairly easygoing. However, there is one small problem I have with his mother. Well, if I had a dime for every, girlfriend with a mother-in-law issue,
oh,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. You'd be a rich man.
I would be a rich man.
Yeah.
She eats with her mouth open. She creates some serious, loud, moist noise, which is incredibly unpleasant. We eat together pretty much every night, so I can't escape it. What do you think I should do? Talk to her about it, or forever hold my peace and slowly die inside during every meal? Thanks. Nigella."
I don't know. Wow.
I am interested to hear from people at home. So if you are watching this, please write in the comments. Because I am genuinely interested in this, because I feel like you are one of two people, right? You either literally like don't even register like people eating with their mouth open, or it's like it's insulting to your very being.
Yeah.
I feel like you're one or the other, right? Like you either can't stand people eating, the noises of people eating, or you're fine with it. And I'm interested to see like how many we have on each side.
Yeah.
What are you?
I'd like to know that. If I don't notice it, I'm kind of fine with it, if that makes sense. I know that it can be really obvious when people start, we call it yapping, don't we? When it's like, that if it's ever that extreme, which I don't think I've ever really witnessed. I have once actually, but I won't get into that. But that's like, I think everyone would be like, that's not okay. But I think my tolerance for it is like pretty high. Like I think if people make slight noises and sometimes open their mouth, I'm not too bothered by it. I think it's manners to eat with your mouth closed and not make much noise. So I would rather you do that. But if that's some person, bless them, for some reason hasn't been taught to do that, and it's not too bad, then I don't have a problem with it. But if it's extreme, then
I think that's fair. I think definitely chew with your mouth closed in general. But I think I'm the same. Unless it's really extreme, I actually don't really notice like much about it at all. I kind of just am able to zone that kind of stuff out. But I do definitely sympathize with people that have that very much so, and really can't stand people doing it. So
Reese really, really can't stand it. A friend of ours really can't stand it.
And exactly.
You know what? Because of him, and he's a fucker because of this, but I feel like I'm more aware of it now than I ever have been, because there have been times fairly recently when I think it was when we were back before lockdown, just being out, maybe grabbing a coffee or whatever. I think it was in London, there was some guy eating and it was like really, really wet in his mouth. and I remember thinking, I was like, I got to get away from this fucking guy because it's actually driving me insane. And I was like, that's fucking... I was like, that's Reese. He's done that to me. He's made me aware of those things. Yeah. And and I was like, that fucker. I think now I'm actually more aware of it. But normally, if it's very minor, I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm okay with it. But anyway,
that's really interesting you said that, because I definitely think because of Reese as well, it's something that I'm aware that people really struggle with, and I think that I don't want to say like suck it up at all, because I really sympathize with that if you've got that other problem. So in terms of giving advice to this person, Nigella, I do think that you can't just... I feel like that would just be such an awful existence if just like having to listen to it, because it would just put you off. You just wouldn't be able to eat, because eating is such a happy time that you should enjoy and relish. And I think if you can't do 100%. That, then definitely some changes need to be made. But what changes are we feeling?
But so wait, it's her boyfriend's mum. Yeah. So potentially her mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
potentially not if she can't fucking get over this.
If she can't deal with it, yeah. You know? Why are you breaking up with me? Because your mum eats like a fucking pig. Oh my god. Look, you can't. I don't think you can. I really don't think you can say, "Hey, do you mind closing your mouth when you eat?"
Yeah, unfortunately, she socially outranks you, especially in her own house as well. Like that's...
Yes. That's it. Her domain. She's probably double your age. Yeah, exactly. You cannot disrespect someone in their own home, and especially like the dynamic between the two of you. You're her son's daughter. That'd be fucking weird. You're her son's girlfriend. And here's the other thing. I know this isn't always the case, but there's that saying like, no girlfriend is ever good enough for a mother's son.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I mean. You are in a forever battle for the approval. Yes. Right.
And that's the same with the other way around. Yeah. No boyfriend is ever good enough for a father's daughter. Mm-hmm. Right? So don't overstep the boundary. Do not disrespect this person. I think you've got to go to the boyfriend. I think you've got to go to your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to say, hey, look, the thing is, I don't even know if I'd be able to do that. If I was in the same situation, I don't even think I'd be able to go to my girlfriend and say, hey, your mum, like, I can't stand the way she eats. I think that would be really offensive. I think you've got to do it in a way that's like, I actually don't know. I think that's the only way you can do it, is mention it to him. If you can find the courage, if you can find the right way of saying it, mention it to him, and then maybe he can say, hey, mum, you're eating with your mouth. Maybe he points it out to her. Oh no, that's so embarrassing. I don't know, bro.
Although normally I'd feel like I always go the opposite of you, and I'm always like, nah, you just gotta take the thing head on.
Go to it.
I definitely agree with you in that situation. I think a more tactical approach is needed, because you can't have that conversation. It's impossible. But
it is impossible.
I think that's a good idea. I think go to the boyfriend. You could just say like, but I don't know. That's still such an awkward thing.
Let's say he doesn't get offended by it, and let's say he's fine with it. Maybe you talk to him.
Yeah.
I do think you've got to stay on her good side. Like I said, no one's ever good enough for
he's just
the mum.
So
and son.
offensive to like his own mum as well. Mum, shut your fucking mouth.
I know. Wait, why haven't they?
Fucking Nigella hates it when you chew with your fucking mouth full. She told me last night. Shut up.
Oh my god.
Imagine.
There's the fuck. Oh, mum, why do you sound like a pig when you eat? Excuse me. Nigella says that she hates the way you eat. Awful.
Completely throws you under the bus.
To be fair, why don't they have a problem with it? Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe you are being a little bit too precious.
Yeah, I guess we don't know whether how sensitive this person's being, but I think I think either go for the boyfriend or I guess the only other option as well is to like find a video or something about people chewing with their mouths open, and like have it just on in the background and kind of roast the video when you're watching it. And maybe basically, because it sounds like normally when the people are like that, it's a very subconscious thing, and if you kind of somehow manage to drip feed it into her general feed of information, it might make her think about it without you specifically having to tell her, is another option.
I like that. I think you fully just like, when you're maybe all together and like maybe watching a bit of TV, just chuck it on. Yeah. Chuck on a YouTube video of like world's loudest eaters and be like, oh, that's awful when people do that. Maybe I think that's a good idea, bro.
Create your own YouTube channel and make that video. Alternatively, I've got it. You have to just one up her. It's a competition. You are now chewing chomping, yapping louder than she is.
Yeah.
In order to create some kind of rivalry, and then she'll notice it, and then she'll be like, "This person mocking me," but she won't be able to directly ask you if you're mocking her, because then she'll think that you know about her eating habits. So.
Yeah, I like that, because also she might not think that, but she might think, "Oh God, Nigella's eating awfully loud," and then might subconsciously make sure that she's not doing the same thing. I like that. You could try all of these things out. Last thing I'd say, make liquid foods like soup. Take over the cooking. Take over the cooking and be like, "Hey, look, I've got loads of soups I want to try out." So she's just sucking things down. She's not having to chew, you know? Yeah. Maybe that's a temporary solution. Oh, then, God. Oh, I tell you what, there's a funny story quickly. Speaking of Reese, there was this woman on the plane back from America, and she was eating what Reese would describe as barnacle food, and she had like these bones, and she was sucking the inside out, and she was going and he was sat next to me. I couldn't really hear it, on a plane it's fairly loud, and he was like grabbing my arm going, "Help me." Like he was in pain. And to be fair, that
food to eat on an airplane. I know people do eat like bone marrow and stuff, but come on, have some peanuts or something. You don't need to be sucking out bone marrow on a plane.
Take some peanuts, or just like plain food, not fucking
have some rice,
bits of
have
bone.
Some carrots. Don't be sucking out bone marrow on an airplane.
I think how did she smuggle that through customs?
Also,
man?
that's customs are quite anal about like meat products and stuff as well. So.
They're funny about anything. Like, she must have had to have got that from a restaurant in the airport. Who the fuck is providing barnacle juice?
M&S meal deal with fucking bone marrow.
Bone barnacles. Awful. Anyway, I hope that helps.
Hope it helps.
Nigella. Okay.
But yeah, I think that's probably we'll round off there, unless you want to answer another one. How you feeling?
Could we do one more maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should we try one more? Maybe make it quick.
Let us know at home, guys, if you want to hear one more.
Let us know, guys, if you want to hear more questions and bothers. If you want us to just ram it with that stuff, Maybe we need to shut up a bit about our own shit. I don't know.
Yeah, we're just so goddamn interesting, though.
Yeah.
This is a delivery-related bother.
Okay.
I know you had your own delivery-related bother some weeks ago. Let us know in the comments if you remember that. #TrueFans, #OGs.
Me? I remember it.
Do you have a name for this person?
Delivery.
Yeah. Female again.
Let's call her UPS.
Okay. UPS. UPMS.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. Loving the podcast, and props to you guys for keeping it up during the pandemic. Your episodes definitely bring me some sanity back during this crazy time. Thank you very much,
Lovely.
UPMS. We appreciate that a lot.
Our female listeners have just logged off, bro. They have logged off,
female
baby.
listeners? We don't have any.
Yeah.
We're misogynists, remember? I actually have a bother related to the pandemic, something that may be a real problem going forward. Mum is considered a vulnerable person, and so we get a lot of essential deliveries from our local shops. She's pretty good friends with the staff at our local pet shop, and they kindly deliver heavy items to my mum's door that she usually be able to collect, before the pandemic. This brings me to an unfortunate incident that happened recently. I was at a hospital appointment, and I was in charge of receiving the delivery. It was a quiet evening, and I decided to switch on a favourite YouTube channel of mine, which centres around the retelling of famous serial killers and unsolved murders and mysteries. I think we've all been there. I was doing odd jobs around the house, and the TV volume was up quite loud, so I could hear the story from the other room. The doorbell rang, and this is when I should have put the two and two together. I went to the door and collected delivery, but in the silences between the payment confirmation process, all you could hear from behind my TV was very loudly exclaiming the gruesome details of a woman being murdered and made into furniture. No joke, really. It's almost as if life is a comedy series because the payment kept buffering and we all stood in silence, waiting for it to go through as the presenter divulged into topics of human skin lampshades, human hair chairs, and so on. A real Silence of the Lambs kind of shit. Good film. Eventually, it went through and I awkwardly laughed and smiled, took the stuff and closed the door, knowing that they definitely think I'm a serial killer or something. Yeah. Mum was supposed to be contacting them for another delivery soon, so do I tell my mum to order something else now? Order somewhere else now to save her the sheer embarrassment. Thanks. You P the mess.
Oh, that's funny. I think, to be fair, I think there's like a rotation of delivery drivers. It's not always the same person. So I don't think you have to worry that.
So it could be a local situation, could just be the same people.
I'd say you definitely will have that person back at some point. You definitely will. But I think there's a strong chance also of them changing it up and it'll be someone else. So I don't think you've got to. I don't think you should worry. That's so embarrassing. Well, it's not really. I think what you in that moment, I would have said something like, I don't know. I maybe would have made a joke out of it, like,
"Shut up, Gary. We'll deal with it later," as if like that person's talking in the room.
I would have said something like, "Oh yeah, watching some." I honestly, probably would have been like, "Yeah, I'm watching something really interesting. Sorry, I'm not
really?
I'm not a serial killer. I'm just watching something really strange."
Yeah,
hopefully they would have laughed.
Or so I feel like if you do order again, you've got to almost double down now and put something worse on now, and you just make that same joke.
Yes.
It is awkward though, because I can imagine, because obviously we know the context behind the question, so it doesn't feel that embarrassing because we know it was just a documentary, but it is a bit much if you're just like on a random afternoon and someone's listening or watching that in the middle of the day and you're just dropping it, and all you can hear is people's skins being made into lampshades or whatnot.
Dude, think about put yourself in the delivery driver's shoes. How you are. I know I would be like, well, fucking, what the fuck is that about? And I would have bolted. Like, that's creepy. But then I probably would have put two and two together. And
you could have made a joke saying, "Oh, I was just watching some tutorials."
yeah. I'm just looking up a YouTube tutorial on how to. Never mind. Yeah. I think. Yeah, that's a good. That would be funny. I think, but chances are he probably also doesn't care, like probably wasn't even listening. Chances are he didn't even notice.
He probably experiences so much weird crap throughout the day. I'm sure that's probably not the worst thing. He's probably seen someone actually doing that before.
Dude, cracking point. He's probably, you know what, I'd love to talk to a delivery driver. Hey man, what's the weirdest thing you've ever witnessed?
We should get one on the show. First guest.
We should.
On wabpod.
What a bother delivery edition. I'll tell you what, boys. What a bother when you ring the doorbell and then someone answers the door fully naked, asking to have sex with you. Like, oh god, man, that's fucking. Honestly, I'd love to. I'd love to know. That would be fucking great. But dude, yeah, to the point. I reckon they've witnessed some fucking weird shit. Yeah. Weird
That was
shit.
probably like an average weirdness in their general day. But yeah, we'd love to hear some follow up on that and see if they do come back and the same person comes back. But yeah, I think the advice is definitely just double down and do something even weirder next time to fuck with them.
100% so.
But yeah, so that is again another week of What Bother concluded. How do you feel? Do you feel like a new man? Do you feel ready to go for the rest of the week? We should have some guests on at some point, I feel like. It's a shame. I feel like if we didn't have the pandemic on, we would have probably done something by now.
Probably.
Or we just do exclusively no guests. Which
I think fun. When we get to episode 25, that will sort of mark the half a year that we've been doing it for.
Yep.
Mark. Almost. 26.
6 months.
26, sorry. 26 episodes. So... with that being said, maybe we try and do it for then, Yeah,
let us know what kind of guest you would want to see us talk to about what issues. That would be a good little fun activity. So if you made it through to the 40 minutes in here, let us know. You are the OGs. Let us know what kind of guest you'd want us to have on the show.
Maybe we need like an anonymous, you know how like we warp their voice and like
like the banker one from last week.
Yeah, and we like if we video them, we'll like create like a silhouette. We'll darken everything so you just see their outline,
so
and it's just like there's one time I was.
But it's like someone totally normal, like someone that doesn't need to be anonymous, but we just think it looks cool.
We have to. We just do that for the set.
Right, guys. Well, thank you so much again for your write-ins. If you do want to write in yourself, that would be much appreciated. We love hearing from you guys. wabpod@gmail.com is on the screen now. You can also DM us on Instagram. You can also write in the comments on YouTube. Pretty much wherever we are, we will see you, and I see you. We all see each other in our most vulnerable times. Sorry?
I'm an IC3. Sorry, there's a song that I was listening to recently. Anyway, yes, 100%. What you said, bro. Love it. Nice job, dude. Nice hosting skills.
Thanks, guys. Hope you have a good week. Stay safe. Look after each other.
See you guys.